Hello students, welcome to part 3 of chapter Morphology of Flowering Plants. Today we will study characters of stem, functions and modifications. In modifications we'll be discussing only about underground modification. Stem when young is green in color, cylindrical, aerial, ascending portion of the plant axis because it grows from the ground towards the sky. It is negatively geo and hydrotrophic because it is growing away from the soil and water. It is growing towards the sunlight, so it is positively phototrophic. It develops from the plumule of the embryo. If this is the embryonic embryo, this is the cotyledon. This is the embryonic axis. From the embryonic axis, epicotyle give rise to plumule, and plumule always give rise to stem. Whereas the hypocotyle give rise to radicle, and radicle give rise to root. It has nodes, internodes, leaves, buds, etc. So all these are present on the stem. It has lateral branches, and these lateral branches are exogenous in origin. Exogenous means they are derived from the external layers. So if this is the epidermis, the cortex, so from these external layers, these branches will be originating of the stem. Young stem is photosynthetic as it is green in color. If hairs are present on the stem, they are multicellular hairs. Let us see the difference between root and stem. Root develops from radicle, stem develops from plumule. Root is descending axis of plant, stem is ascending axis of plant. Roots are non-green, so they cannot carry out photosynthesis. Young stems are green, so they are photosynthetic. Nodes, internodes absent in root, present in case of stem. Root hairs in roots are unicellular. Stem hairs are multicellular. Roots are negatively phototrophic, stems are positively phototrophic. Roots are positively geotrophic and hydrotrophic, whereas stem are negatively geotrophic and negatively hydrotrophic. Leaves and buds are absent in roots, whereas they are present in stem. The root branches are endogenous in origin, whereas the stem branches are exogenous in origin. So this is the difference between root and stem. What is a bud now? Bud arises on the stem. It is a compact young shoot, very important. It is a compact shoot, young shoot, which is covered from all the sides by overlap by mature leaves. And as the bud will grow, what will happen? The elongation of the internode will take place and the leaves will spread out in the formation of young shoot. Thus, bud is compact young shoot which is covered by young leaves. There are different types of buds: vegetative buds which will give rise to leafy shoots, floral buds which give rise to the reproductive part, that is the flower, and mixed buds which can develop both into vegetative as well as floral buds. Now, in this picture you can see the apical bud or the terminal bud, which is responsible for the growth of the stem, height of the stem. In this picture you can see axillary bud. Axillary bud is also called as the lateral bud, which is growing in the axil of the leaf, and it is responsible to grow to form stem branches. In this picture you can see extra axillary bud. So this is a stem, node, axil, ear, axillary bud in the axil of the leaf. On the opposite side, outside of the leaf base, a bud comes, then it is called as extra axillary bud. It can be seen in case of Solanum nigrum. Then this is epiphyllous buds. Epiphyllous buds are seen in Bryophyllum, in Begonia. They are growing on the margins of these leaf margins of these plants, and they are responsible for vegetative propagation. Adventitious buds are those buds which arise on any other part but not nodes, and they are responsible for growth. So these are the different types of vegetative buds. Of course, floral buds are the sexual buds. What are the primary functions of stem? The main functions are stem supports and produces leaves, flowers and fruits. It will hold the parts in such a way, especially the leaves, so that maximum sunlight can be received and they can carry out photosynthesis. It holds the flowers in such a position to facilitate pollination and fertilization. It will conduct water and mineral because of the vascular bundle xylem from the roots to the leaves, flowers and fruits, whereas it will translocate the organic food which is formed in the leaves to the roots and storage organs with the help of the phloem vascular bundle. So these are the main functions of the stem. The secondary functions of the stem, we can also say these are the modifications of the stem, can be classified into three types: the underground modification, aerial modification and the subaerial modification. Today we will be studying in detail only about underground, aerial and subaerial we'll study in next video. Underground modification we'll study four types: stem tuber, rhizome, corm, bulb. I repeat: stem tuber, example potato; rhizome, example ginger and fern; corm, colocasia arabi; bulb, onion and garlic. Aerial modification we'll study about thorns present in duranta, rose having prickles. Phylloclade is present in Opuntia. Tendrils are present in grapevine passiflora. Bulbils in Dioscorea and hooks in Artabotris. Of course, these we'll study in next video. In subaerial modification, which are usually for vegetative propagation, there includes runner in grass or doob or cyanodon dactylon, stolon in wild strawberry, that is Frageria, offset in aquatic plants like Ecornia and Pistia, and suckers are present in mint and chrysanthemum. About aerial and subaerial we'll study later. Let us start with underground modification. The first modification we will study is stem tuber. Now, some of the plants like potato, they produce underground stem, and these underground stems are called as stolons. The apex of the stolon, they become fleshy because they start storing food. They do not produce adventitious roots. They have nodes, internodes. The nodes produces axillary bud in the axil of the leaves. Scaly leaves are produced. These are also called as eyes. And whenever favorable conditions are there, they will sprout to produce a new plant above. So above they will sprout and produce a new plant. So it is a swollen tip of special underground stem branches called as stolons. Stolons arise from the underground basal nodes of the aerial shoot. These stolons are arising from the basal shoot only. And they have eyes which are nothing but the axillary buds. Under favorable condition, the eyes will sprout up and produce again the aerial shoots. Such type of tubers are present in potato, that is Solanum tuberosum. Adventitious roots are absent. You can see this is the vegetative shoot which is seen above, and these are the swollen, fleshy, tuberous stem tubers present below. Let us study about rhizome. Rhizome is fleshy, prostate, horizontally growing, perennial underground stem. Usually two functions: store the food and helps in vegetative propagation. In rhizome, one example is ginger, turmeric. In ginger and turmeric, you will see that they have nodes, they have internodes. At the nodes, they will produce adventitious roots, and the growth in case of ginger or turmeric, haldi, curcuma domestica takes place laterally because of axillary buds. Such type of growth produces branching, and it is called as sympodial growth. Whereas in case of lotus or in case of fern, fern is a pteridophyte, but still the growth takes place because of apical meristem. And when the growth is taking place of apical meristem, does not show branching. This growth is called as monopodial growth. So two types of growth are seen in rhizome, and rhizome is different than tuber because it has adventitious root. So again I repeat, rhizome has nodes, internodes. It has terminal bud, axillary bud, and it is present in the axil of the scaly leaves. It has adventitious root, whereas tubers did not had adventitious root. This rhizome remains dormant in the soil. Example: ginger, Zingiber officinale; turmeric, Curcuma domestica or canna. Turmeric, ginger, and canna show sympodial growth. What is sympodial growth? Growth which is taking place because of lateral buds, that is axillary buds. But in case of lotus, Nelumba nucifera or fern, growth is monopodial. What is monopodial? Growth which takes place because of terminal bud. So this is the example of ginger. I hope you have understood rhizome. And sometimes a question is asked: difference between rhizome and tuber. So basically, tuber is shapeless, it is not branch, it does not has adventitious root, and all the opposite characters are present in case of rhizome. Corm. Corm is a fleshy, solid, vertical growing underground stem. So it grows vertically. It is short, stout. It also shows branches. It has nodes, internodes, spherical nodes and internodes are there. And it has scaly leaves, axillary buds, and it is fleshy, stout. Actually, difference between rhizome and comb is only one, that rhizome grows flattened, horizontal, prostate, but comb is growing vertical. It also produces adventitious root. Example is Amorphophallus, which is also called as elephant's foot or suran in Marathi, Zamikand in Hindi. Another example is Colocasia, as you can see in the picture, Arabi Colocasia, or we also call it as Aru. Saffron is one more example, Crocus sativus, that is Kesar. So corm, we can also define corm as a vertically growing rhizome. Why vertically growing? Because the branches are vertically produced. I hope you have understood corm. Adventitious roots are produced here. And it also shows branching, but branching are not visible properly because too much of fleshy, too much of storage of food. Again, two functions, storage of food and vegetative propagation. The next we are going to study bulb. Bulb is underground stem. It is pyriform, pear shape. Examples are onion. So onion also you see it is like this only, pear shaped. Here there is a discoid stem present. Even garlic, garlic if you remember, even it is showing such type of reduced disc shaped stem, and many fleshy leaves are arising. On the this disc stem there is a apical bud, and surrounding the apical bud in concentrically arranged fleshy leaves are present in case of onion, and this onion is covered by a protective tunic. Therefore onion is an example of tunicated bulb. So onion, it has tunicated bulb. Scapus or scape is present in the center. If you peel this garlic, you will see that on the disc in the center there is a hollow scape, and surrounding this hollow scape small cloves or bulbets are arranged, and each bulbet is again covered by a tunic. So it is also called as compound tunicated scaly bulb. Let us see the picture. So this is simple tunicated bulb. You can see a reduced stem, adventitious root, apical meristem which is surrounded by these fleshy concentrically arranged leaves. And vegetative propagation will take place during favorable times. And you can see that it is covered by a tunic. So onion is an example of simple tunicated bulb. Concentric leaves are present here. Onion, scientific name Allium cepa. Another example is tulip or tulipa or nargis. Compound tunicated bulb, garlic. Fleshy scaly leaves representing bulbets. These are singularly called as bulbets or clubs. They are arranged in concentric rings surrounding the scape. Each bulbet or each club is again covered by a tunic. If you have ever peeled garlic, you will see every pod or every clove, it is again covered with a peels, and you have to separate it. So this is the best example. It is called as compound tunicated because every bulb is covered with a tunic. So compound, many tunics. Or it is also called as a scaly bulb because these scaly leaves are present which are fleshy bulbets. Example, garlic, Allium sativum. So students, I hope you have understood all the underground modifications. In next video, we will study about aerial and subaerial modifications. Thank you.